Rome is a pretty simple idea. So instead of buying an apartment or signing a lease, you sign up with us and you can live wherever you want to for as long as you want to. So you can say, I want to stay in New York for 2 months, I want to go to Berlin for a couple of weeks, and then do some research or finish writing my book in Bali for a month. And we make it really seamless for you to go from one place to the other. So it's a very powerful consumer proposition, especially as we have those big cultural shifts of people being able to work from pretty much anywhere they want. And we're trying to support that by giving people a reliable, beautiful communal housing experience. We started about a year ago in Bali, Indonesia. We are now up and running in 4 markets, including Miami, Tokyo, and London. And the plan is to have up to 10 to 12 markets by the end of this year. Obviously, New York would be a very interesting city to be in, as is LA, Berlin. So the typical hotspots for especially that target demographic. We have a lot of respect for the hospitality industry, but we try to rebuild the whole experience from scratch. That's why we decided initially not to be only a distribution platform, but really control the inventory in a way that we can give people a unique experience. And I think the main 3 factors are that it's a more communal product, it's a more transient product compared to a traditional apartment, and that it's a global product from the outset. So we started really early on, and that was a hard learning to how can we go into a market as fast as possible, as capital efficient as possible. So for consumer, that allows us to, again, abstract away the complexities of moving from one place to another. So you can arrive in Tokyo, you immediately have a beautiful private environment, your own bedroom, your own bathroom, beautiful studio apartment, but you also have a co-working space. You also have a beautiful commercial kitchen studio where you might run into someone who's already lived in that location for 2 months and can tell you where the nicest cocktail bar is. So we facilitate those options to be with other people, and that's something that really appeals to a lot of people. It's We're mostly focused on small properties. That's a supply side issue. So everybody wants to have the 250 unit building, which creates a certain overhang on the supply side. There's a lot of 25, 35 unit buildings that are very attractive. The next step then we look at is it a building that tells a unique story? So in Bali, it's this very contemporary boutique hotel that we repurposed. In Miami, it's some of the oldest standing structures in Miami, so it's beautiful, almost sudden. So there's those front porches in front of every house. And in London, it's a very nice old Victorian building of Sloane Square. So they're all kind of unique as properties. The only thing that we look at, is it possible to have exactly that element of choice? So what wouldn't work for us is if it's only narrow hallways leading to an elevator and then you're right by the front door. So it's always this, do you have ways and means to accidentally run into other people? So architecture we like is if it's around the common courtyard, that's something that's very interesting. And those are a couple of architectural features that we look at that we can actually facilitate this communal aspect. It's we're trying to figure it out. So it's a really broad demographic. So the average age is 38. It's more and more corporate customers. So it's more surprisingly who's not. So yes, there are people in their late 20s who are single who can live pretty much anywhere who you would normally associate with that product. But at the same time, we talked about this, a lot of empty nesters who say, hey, I'm financially independent, the kids are in college, I want to go see the world for 3 or 4 years. And actually Rome facilitates that versus a hotel or Airbnb that might be too anonymous. On the corporate side, it's actually, we start seeing those changes. So customers of ours put it really well that large, one of the big 4 consulting firms, and he said, I could live pretty much anywhere, but my issue is if I checked into the hotel and I sit down on my bed. And the question, what should I do next? And it's more those small details that no matter if you're 25 or 65, no matter what your background is, that's those details that actually are shared across the demographic. And we're trying to isolate them and see how can we provide even more value for customers seeking exactly that different experience. Oh, it was fantastic. It's really good to have It's I was at a timesharing conference 3 weeks ago where you normally have this association of the timesharing industry being a very conservative industry, but it's really beautiful to see how those different niches work. And service departments, extended stay is definitely something that does have a lot of history, but at the same time, a lot of innovation going on. So seeing all that in one place, actually learning from the solid experience that was built, but at the same time, people developing, offering new products, having all those together in one place, one time, that was really, was good. Much appreciated.